So again, right now, Math 2, Unit 8, we're going to go over the practice test. So right now, I'm just going to pop up the even answers. You're going to check. If you didn't get them, make sure you write them down so that you can fix it later. If you haven't done it yet and you write them down, is it okay?
No.
It's okay as long as you go back and show your work. If you just give me a list of answers, that's not okay. All right, so go through, and then I'm going to answer questions on this first page. Okay, are we ready for questions or still grading? Still grading? Okay. Those of you that did your work, how did you do on this section here? What was that? Did amazing? Okay, I'm going to move this. Are we ready? Not yet. Remember, if you're copying answers, you need to show your work later. Look at the work I have here. If I can show this work, bless you, you better be able to show this work. Okay. Okay, questions. And it could be on odd. It doesn't only have to be even. I'm going to take any questions on 1 through 12. Yes?
5.
Number 5, that's a good one. Any others besides 5? Did I hear a 4? These are all really good ones to go over. Any others?
11.
11 and 10. Okay, starting off with 4. I'm going to call on Japheth. Japheth, can you tell me what to do with these two negative exponents right here? Flip them. What about the x to the 5th and the x to the 1? Will those flip or stay?
They'll stay.
Good job. Can you tell me why these stay and the others flip?
They're positive.
Because the x's have positive exponents is what you said? Okay, good. All right, Japheth, continue. What do I do with these exponents here?
Subtract them.
He said subtract. Do we all agree? 5 take away 1 is?
4.
Okay. Now, can you explain, Japheth, here when you subtract, is it top or the bottom?
Bottom.
And can you tell us why?
Because the 7 is at the bottom.
Because there's more. The bigger number 7 is at the bottom, and 7 take away 3 is 4 at the bottom. Questions? We're good? Okay. Number 5. I'm going to call on Wendy. Wendy, on number 5, can you give us any thoughts on what to do first?
Distribute the exponents.
Good. Can you tell me what exponent we're going to distribute?
3 to -2a, flip it, and into 2 to -3.
Okay. Say it again. Well, here, let me tell you this. The only thing I'm going to distribute is the 2 there and there. There's no power there. There's no big power there. So that's the only piece I'm going to distribute. Does that make sense? Okay? Okay, good. Does everyone else see what I'm saying? There's no big exponent out here. There's no parentheses or big exponent here. So the only distribution is happening with the 2. Do we all agree? Okay. Do I do -2 times 2? Or 1 times 2? 1. So it's -2 to the 2nd and a to what power? 10th. Okay. And everything else is going to stay. -3ab, 5a to the 11th, b to the 3rd. And now I'm going to start rearranging. If you don't rearrange, that's fine, as long as you understand how to do it. 5 is 5. What's -2 times -2? +4, and then times -3. 5, 4, -3. Does everyone see that? Let's regroup all of our a's. A to the 11th, what else? A to the 10th, and a to what power at the end? 1. Okay, what do I have for b's? This is b to the third. Any other b's? Very end, b to the what? First. And now we're left to simplify. What do I do with the 5, 4, and negative 3? Add or multiply? Multiply. They're not exponents, they're coefficients. 5 times 4 is 20. What's 20 times negative 3? All right, what do I do with the like bases? I multiply like bases by adding the, and the base stays a. So a to what power? A to the what? 22, negative 60, a to the 22, b to what power? And that there is your final beautiful answer. Did anybody get this one who did it on their own? No one? Okay, a few people. All right. Is this a definite on tomorrow's test?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Please put your phones away. Remember, distribute your exponent, put your like terms together, regroup it, and then add your exponents, multiply your coefficients, and all is good. Does that make sense? How many of you skip this step and just do 5 times 4 times negative 3 and then 11 plus 10 plus 1? Anybody do it that way? And that is okay. You don't have to regroup it. I just told you guys I would continue doing it that way in class. All right. Next one is similar. So Wendy, I'm going to come back to you, and can you tell me what's the only thing I distribute here? To the negative 6 exponent and the a's exponent? Okay. She's correct. So 5 stays, a to the 8th stays, b cubed stays, b to the 4th, and everything else to the right is going to change. Christian, can you tell me how to rewrite it? Do I do negative 6 times 2 or 1 times 2?
1,
So it becomes negative 6 to what power?
2,
And then a to what power?
negative 12.
All right, now when I regroup, I leave the negative there until the very end, and then I fix it. Some people move it and then subtract. It's totally up to you. Okay, 5 times what's 8 or negative 6 to the second power? Negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. And then a to the 8th, a to the negative 12th, b to the 3, b to the 4th. Is that everything? A with A, B with B. Okay. 5 times 36 is what? Can you guys calculate that? 5 times 36 is 180. Now when you add your exponents, what's a plus negative 12? Negative 4. And then b to what power? 7th. Why would I get it wrong if I left it like this? We need positive exponents. So what is this? 180. How would I rewrite it? I'm going to call on Isaac. How would you rewrite this right here? What's my final answer? 180. What moves to the bottom? The A or the B?
The A.
Why?
Negative.
And what stays at the top?
B.
B to the 7th because it was
Positive.
positive exponent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Next one. I have a lot going on here. I do need you guys listening really, really well on this one because this is one that kids miss quite often as well. Yes. Yes. Make sure you sign out, please. Okay. I'm going to circle negative exponents. Let's do that first. The c to the negative 2. C to the negative 9. Okay. A to negative 2. Any other negative exponents?
No.
All right. I'm going to pencil this in. Do not put this on your paper. If that 21 was negative, would I move it to the bottom?
Yeah, no.
No, because that's not an exponent. It's a coefficient. All right. So I'm not going to reduce the 21 into 3 yet. I'm just going to leave it for now. 21, 3. Is the a to the 5th moving? No. So I'm going to leave it there. What's joining as far as a's go? Okay. Now let's look at the b's. They're both positive, so are they both moving or none of them moving? So b squared stays and b7 stays, yes or no? And what do the c's do since they're both negative? Switch. So c9 and c2. Do you guys see how that worked? The a's, one stayed, one moved. The b's stayed completely, and the c's, both of them moved. All right, do I subtract the 3 and the 21? No, what do I do? Reduce. What's 21 divided by 3? 7. Okay. What do I get here? A to what power? 7th. And what do I get here when I subtract? B to the 5th. Where? On the bottom, because there's more at the bottom. And here's C to what power? Where? Why? Because there's more at the top. A lot of 7s in that answer. All right. Questions on that one? Are we good and solid and ready for the test?
Yes.
Yes. Good. All right. Yes, make sure you sign out, please. Can I flip this over to the back page? We will have some time to review tomorrow before we take the test. Keep that in mind. Okay. Are you okay if we just go through and do a few of these together before I hand back the quiz? Okay. 13. Who remembers the shortcut? Do you guys want me to do the shortcut? Quiz number 2, the one we just took on Friday? Jason, did your hand go up? Okay, can you tell me what the shortcut is? 6, not divide, but multiply. The radical's gone, the numerator stays, and he said 6 times 5 is 30. I do need you listening. Does anybody want me to show the actual mathematical way? No? You guys break my heart. What does this reduce to? 1 over 10. What letter? B. So you can thank Jason when you're taking the test and you're like, oh, I remember what he said.
Thanks, Jason.
All right. Next one. I'm going to explain it. 7 to the 3/10 times 7 to the 3/5. And I'm going to call on Wyatt. Can you tell me what to do here?
Which one?
I'm on number 14. I rewrote it. What do I do next?
Minus 10 and 5 or add?
Okay, you said add or minus. Which one?
Well, since it's multiplying, it's add, right?
You are correct. Now, how do I add 3/10 plus 3/5? Please stop the talking across that end over there. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Transform the 3/5 to the 6/10.
I like it. Transform it to the 6/10. How did he get that?
By multiplying by 2.
You're right. We have to have a common denominator. So transform it is what he said. What does that add up to? Is 9/10 the answer, or is that just the exponent part of it? What's the base? Do I multiply and say 49, or does it stay 7? 7 to the 9/10. What letter is that? A. All right. Now, can anybody tell me if I'm doing this correctly? 2 times 6 is 12. 1/2 times 6 is 3, so it must be letter A. True or false? That is wrong. Okay. Now, did I do 1/2 times 6 correctly? Let's check that. 1/2 times 6 is 6 over 2. Do you all agree? No common denominator. What does that reduce to? So did I get the x cubed part correct? This part right here. Was the x cubed part correct? Then why is the 12 wrong? I don't multiply 2 times 6. I multiply 1 times 6. So it's 2 to the 6th, x to the 3rd, again because 1/2 times 6 is 3. And I heard Mason say you multiply 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Anybody know what that is? 64. Good job, x cubed. Okay. This one, 7 to the 2/3 over 7 to the 6/3 or 3/6? 3/6. Now I'm going to call on Alik. Alik, on the last one, Wyatt said, he did it very well. He said right here, on number 14, he said, well, because it's multiplying, we're going to be adding the exponents. So with that hint, what do we do with the exponents here? Instead of adding, what do we do? Subtract is correct. Good job. Do we need a common denominator again? Okay, so as Wyatt said, we transform. What do we transform the 2/3 into? Anyone?
4/6.
4/6. And what's 4/6? Take away 3/6.
1/6.
Is 1/6 my answer or just my exponent? Don't forget to reduce these. Some of you forgot that on the quiz. This doesn't reduce, but you do have to reduce your fractions. 7 to the 1/6. What letter?
D.
D. Now, this next one is another one that kids missed on the quiz a lot, so please listen. First off, do you guys agree it's 1/3 plus 3/5?
Yes.
Yes or no? What's the common denominator?
15.
So what does the top fraction become when you multiply by 5?
5/15.
And the bottom one?
9/15.
And what's 5/15 plus 9/15?
4/15.
14/15. Does that
Oh, I
reduce?
said 4. My bad. Oh.
It's okay. Does that reduce? Does it reduce?
No.
No. Now, what's the base?
11.
11 raised to the 14 over 15. On a question very similar to this on the quiz, kids gave me this as the answer and I marked it wrong. Why? If there's no mistake over here,
You have to put in radical form.
do you have to pay attention to that on the test?
Yes.
Yes. 15th root of 11 to the 14th power. Please, 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 when you get your quiz back in just a few minutes, check that. If you messed it up, make a note to yourself. And you do something similar for part B. Are we good?
Yes.